So the first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about the game mode was the difficulty itself. Most of you guys probably won't even have trouble killing the boss this time around, and it's pretty clear to see that even on ultimate difficulty, the boss doesn't really have enough stats to pose a serious challenge. Now obviously this is a beta run for the game mode, so I'm sure the devs are still working on tuning the difficulty. But yeah, at this point, I'd say the whole concept of needing 3 whole squads to defeat the boss is a little redundant at this point, seeing as most squads should be able to solo clear it anyway. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what else they add to the game mode itself. The boss doesn't even have an element typing this time around, which could completely change what teams are and aren't viable. So I'm sure they're still working on balancing that out as well. And yeah, besides that, there is a new currency that's being added to the game. These Whispers of Decay, they're called. So I went ahead and calculated how much we should be receiving by the end of the week, assuming you reach the highest score and that you get into the top 10% threshold, which should be doable for most people. So in total, we should be receiving around 17,000 Whispers of Decay. And the strategy for most people is going to be to buy the pull tickets, the weekly skill mats, and whatever 2 Runic discs that you wanted to take. The shop does offer skill cartridges, which is nice, but keep in mind you'll barely be able to afford anything with the leftover Whispers of Decay, so I don't recommend buying these unless you really need them and you can't afford any of the Runic discs otherwise. So yeah, on to the Runic discs themselves. If you wanted a quick rundown of my recommendations, here's a tier list on the screen right now. These discs seem to be focused more around the concept of shielding and receiving additional damage bonuses while shielded. So some of these discs can already find some pretty good usage with the trackers that are available right now. And there are some of the discs that are kind of suck, to say the least. Umbra by far stands out to be the best choice out of all these discs. The way to proc its melody skill is by far the most convenient out of these discs. And on top of that, the sub skill it offers is element percent damage, which is already pretty good compared to the other discs. Aqua doesn't have the same element percent damage sub skill that Umbra does, but the harmony and melody skills themselves are pretty convenient and easy to proc for Aqua, especially if you're running Teresa on your team. So keeping that shield active is going to be pretty easy, and gaining more damage bonuses on top of that makes the Aqua disc a pretty solid choice. Other than that, the other discs aren't really worth talking about too much. The Terra disc isn't bad, but it's not really the strongest choice, especially on the current Terra team. Ignis's scaling isn't all that great if you read the skills. Ventus's melody skill only procs once at the beginning of the battle, and for Lux, you need to get hit in order to make use of the melody skill, so it's a little hard to say which one of these discs are better than any of these other ones. But that is something to note, that in the future, if a shielder did come out for any of these elements, these ratings could change pretty quickly. But until then, these other discs have pretty situational usage at best compared to the other ones that I just talked about. So yeah, that's about it for everything I wanted to talk about today for this content. It was honestly a pretty quick overview in hindsight. So yeah, I'm looking forward to when it does fully release so that we can really push the limits of this game. But yeah, that's about it for this time. I hope you found something useful from this video, and feel free to leave a comment if I missed anything. But yeah, if there is one thing I could say to the developers to improve on, is that I want this girl's hat to be bigger. Look, it's not big enough. I've seen bigger hats in my life, and I know that these devs can do better. Look, you know what? In fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it for them. Like, look, here. See? Yeah, much better. Yeah. You know what? No. It needs to be bigger. Yeah, no, bigger. Even bigger than that. Yeah, bigger hats! We need bigger hats!